All right, today we're going to break down a really powerful philosophy from none other than Denzel Washington. He calls it falling forward. And honestly, it's a simple idea, but it might just flip how you think about risk, failure, and what it really means to succeed.
So Denzel kicks things off with this incredible quote from Nelson Mandela. And it just cuts right to the chase. The message here is basically a challenge to every single one of us. If you want a life that's actually passionate and fulfilling, you've got to stop playing it so safe.
And that leads us right into his first big idea, which for a lot of us is maybe the toughest one to swallow. You have to be willing to take big risks. I mean, think about it. What's the one piece of advice we always get from our parents, our teachers, you name it? It's always have a safety net, have a plan B, make sure you have something to fall back on, just in case. But Denzel, he just throws that whole idea out the window. He says he never really got that concept of a fallback plan. His philosophy is much simpler. If you're going to fall anyway, you might as well fall forward, right? Instead of falling back into safety, you're falling towards your goal. Like he says, at least that way you can see what you're about to hit. It's such a powerful mental shift, from playing defense with your life to playing offense.
Okay, so if you start taking these big risks, something's bound to happen, right? You are going to fail. And this leads us straight to his second principle, embracing that failure is a non-negotiable part of the whole journey.
And listen, Denzel does not sugarcoat this one bit. He's super clear. Failure isn't just some vague possibility, the dead certainty. You will fail, you will lose, you're going to suck at something. And the point isn't to somehow dodge all of that. It's to accept it, even embrace it, as proof that you're actually trying. And he's got this amazing personal story to back it up. Picture this. 30 years ago, he's a young actor, and he totally bombs an audition for a Broadway musical. Why? Because he couldn't sing. He failed, plain and simple. But he didn't quit. He just kept working, kept getting better. Now, fast forward 3 decades, and he's the star of the hit play Fences, performing on the exact same stage where he failed all those years ago. Now that is what falling forward looks like.
And really, this one quote just nails it. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. It's the ultimate sign that you're in the ring, actually pushing yourself. If you're not failing, you're probably not trying hard enough.
And this idea, it's not just for actors. It applies to everything. Let's look at this number, 2,600. That's how many times the legendary baseball player Reggie Jackson struck out. 2,600 times. That's more than any other player in the entire history of the sport. But do we think of him as a failure? No way. We remember him as Mr. October, the guy who hit all those clutch, game-winning home runs. The successes are so big they totally overshadow the mountain of failures it took to get there.
Or how about this one? 1,000. That's how many experiments Thomas Edison did that just didn't work. 1,000 times he failed on his way to inventing the light bulb, but he didn't see them as failures. He actually saw them as 1,000 steps toward the final answer. The lesson here is so clear. Every time you fail, it's not the end of the road. It's just one more necessary step in the process.
So, you're taking risks, you're embracing failure, but all that hard work needs to be pointed in the right direction. And that brings us to Denzel's third principle, the absolutely crucial job of turning your dreams into actual, achievable goals. Denzel makes this really simple but super important distinction. He says, dreams without goals are just dreams. And that's it right there. A goal is what a dream becomes when you attach a plan to it, when you give it a deadline. It's that vital shift from just wishing for something to actively working for it. The process he lays out is pretty straightforward. First, you gotta dream big. Don't put a ceiling on your own ambitions. Second, you have to think outside the box. He uses that classic 9-dot puzzle as an example. You know, the one where you can only solve it by drawing lines beyond the dots. And finally, and this is key, you set concrete goals. These are the real, actionable steps that give your dream the framework it needs to become a reality. All of this, the risks, the failures, the goals, it's all building up to one final huge question. And this is a question that shifts the focus entirely from what you can get in life to what you can give. This is where it all pivots from just ambition to real purpose. Denzel argues that true success isn't really measured by how much you accumulate for yourself. It's measured by what you do with what you have, how you give back to the world. It's about finding your own unique gifts and then using them to serve other people. And here's the thing, what you have isn't just about money. Not at all. It's your time, it's your unique talents, It's your kindness, your patience, your love. Every single one of us has something valuable to contribute. The real challenge of life, then, is to figure out what those gifts are and how you're going to share them. And Denzel leaves us with this incredibly powerful, almost haunting image. He asks you to imagine yourself on your deathbed, surrounded by the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential. These are the ghosts of the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used. And they're there, he says, because you were the only person on earth who could have ever brought them to life. It's such a profound call to action. So the question he leaves all of us with is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let those ghosts haunt you, or are you going to fall forward?